redo that. That was a terrible fade out. I need to actually just buy a soundboard instead of trying to do it with a mouse and keyboard. Anyway, episode 23, the Empire Exile podcast. I'm your host, Dorf, joined by Josh. How's it going tonight, Josh?
Good, man. Best intro ever. Don't let it get you down.
Lying to you people because the way we have the audio set up, he can't hear it, so he has no idea. Anywho, welcome to tonight's program. Live from our opposing different locations here in the Midwest. I'm really happy I'm not in the Mid-Atlantic region of this country today, with everything that we saw happening in Washington, D.C. But without further ado, let's get right into tonight's program. So, first thing on the agenda tonight, we are going to do a little bit of recap here on the races. Somehow in the, I would like one of the most culturally conservative places in the country. Somehow you sent a political hack and a communist to represent you in the Senate.
That sounds like the beginning of a great joke, Dorf. A political hack, a communist, and Donald Trump walk into Georgia.
And to be fair, David Perdue, boring. Kelly Loeffler, corrupt as fuck in my opinion. But I'm damning someone for who they married. So for those of you who don't know, Kelly Loeffler's husband is the guy who runs the New York Stock Exchange. So not a great member to have not a great person to have exactly in your party, but I'd John Ossoff and Raphael Warnock. Anywho,
I'm very offended by that, by the way, Dorf. As someone who's been divorced twice, I definitely do not want to be judged by the people I married. So, that's very unfair of you.
Well, so to be entirely fair, on top of her husband running the New York Stock Exchange, she was one of the
you said on top of her husband.
God, that's not what I meant. Anyway, on top of that, she was, I don't know if you remember, God, this was probably about a year ago. She was one of the senators involved got caught in their hands in the cookie jar insider trading. Although she got away with it, was not charged. It ended up, I believe there was one member of Congress. She ended up escaping both liability and criminal penalty on that one somehow. Probably, there's a chance that it was overblown, but because this is politics and how bad it really was. But I don't know, man. This is what I mean. To be fair, you had arguably the most influential person in Republican politics for the last 3 months, that being, unfortunately, the wacko basket known as L. Lynn Wood, California attorney L. Lynn Wood, who is running around the state of Georgia, telling people to not vote because it show them GOPs that you're mad at them by not showing up, and it worked. Quite frankly, if he doesn't do that, Perdue and Loeffler probably win by 1% or 2%. That turn out
maybe
the early exit data that's been analyzed, the Trump only folk, or the MAGA folk, the non-traditional Republican voters, they didn't show up. They stayed home. They didn't vote for Warnock and Ossoff. They just stayed home, and that is more than the margin of victory here in the state. And the stereotype is Democrats show up on cycles, that being when the president is on the ballot. This time it was a runoff election in January. President was not on the ballot, yet they still had pretty damn good turnout. Whereas Republicans turn out stereotypically and traditionally steady numbers
in a red state. In a red state where they only have to take one and they have incumbents. and they still lost.
Well, they were.
So here's my take.
Go ahead.
Here's my take, Dorf. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, here's my take. Okay. All right. I'm teaching election cycles or campaign running 101. Here's one of the things I'm gonna say. If a state doesn't elect or doesn't vote for, doesn't support a Republican candidate for president of the United States, don't have said candidate come there and endorse your Republican senators. Terrible idea. Terrible idea. What you're doing is you are telling those would-be Republican voters who couldn't stomach the idea of voting for you, even though they showed up to the polls that day. You're telling those people, hey, I really like these dudes. You're telling that to people that hate you, people that loathe you. And it failed miserably. So I ask people this. Imagine a president so divisive, so polarizing, and so inept that the Republicans, when the U.S. Senate is on the line, can't win one Georgia Senate seat when they're incumbents. Now, either the entire state of Georgia just became a liberal stronghold, which I refuse to believe. I haven't met that many people from Georgia, but I've met enough.
Honestly, Josh, there's
to
Georgia is
vehemently not believe that.
Georgia is more purple than you think.
Perhaps it's purple.
Atlanta and Fulton County.
Okay, so a purple state. Okay, call it a purple state if you want. I still stand behind the statements I made if it's a purple state. That's all you have to do is just win that one seat. That's it.
Well,
it's pathetic.
It's just the nature of this
and
way this
people are going to try
election.
to say it's do you know who's it's one person's fault. Donald Trump's. It's Donald Trump's fault. It is Donald Trump's fault. 110%. Donald Trump decided he was going to take over the Republican Party 4 years ago. Some fringe lunatics like myself said that was going to destroy the Republican Party. And it has. Because there are people out there, you can call them what you want. You can say they're stupid. You can call them never Trumpers. You can say what you want, and the Hugh Hewitts and the Dennis Pragers and the Sean Hannitys of the world can spend their precious 3 hours on the radio every day crapping all over loyal listeners and telling them how dumb they are and how stupid they are for not voting for Donald Trump, and think that that's a good strategy. Legitimately think that that's a good strategy for winning the presidential election. Well, guess what all those people who didn't particularly care for Donald Trump did? They did that. They didn't vote for him. And we lost Georgia. Like I'm a Republican. They lost Georgia. They lost the Senate. They lost the presidency. And it's not because of voter fraud. It's because people don't like Donald Trump. And if you want to blame CNN for that, and social media bots, go ahead. You can if you want, but votes are the votes. They lost big, and it's stupid. And the idea that you couldn't, that should be in the bank. That's money in the bank. Okay, that was crappy. We had a bad run, but we just have to win one of these 2 Georgia Senate seats. We keep control of the Senate, and they couldn't do it. Now what, the Democrats threw everything they had at it? Well, guess what? The Republicans threw everything they had at it too. So is the Republican Party just simply that inept? Simply that lousy? Democratic Party's just that much better? Or is this the Patriots versus the Lions here? I mean, get good, guys. I don't know what to tell you. Get good, bruh. Like, you just got smoked on your home turf. And you're going to blame everybody but yourself. You're going to blame everybody but not only yourself, but the main guy. You're not going to blame your quarterback. You're not going to blame Donald Trump. It's his fault. His fault. At the very least, they should have said, whoa, Don, you just got your ass kicked in this red state in the presidential election. The last thing we need is you here telling Georgians to vote Republican. Because that's the last thing they want to do. If you say it. That's it, man. That's my take on Georgia elections.
Well, I'm going to kind of...
And I think people ought to ponder it.
At this time, I don't. You said. My take is, I am still yet to be convinced that voter fraud didn't have a marked input into how November went down. The amount of inconsistencies, and especially the amount of time clearance we've had from this that have not been answered. No, guys, get off your fucking horse. The court hasn't litigated shit. They found 3 different methods of bullshit invented doctrine, which you could argue is unconstitutional, standing. Whether it's you can't file lawsuits early because you lack a specific injury. So you haven't been injured yet, you can't preemptively sue. If you file on time, you lack standing because you are not, the agreed enough of an agreed party. If you wait too late to assemble said aggrieved party, it's latches. It's already been decided. Too bad, so sad, too late. None of that has any basis in constitutional law. That is just, that has a basis more in common law, which so therefore we continue to do it this way. You look at like the state of Florida, for example. Back in the early 2000s, you had the Bush v. Gore, hanging chads, the election officials interpreting voter intent and dirty voter rolls and a bunch of fraud, yada yada yada. Florida was embarrassed nationally. Since then, they've got their shit together. And guess what? It's the 5th or 6th most populous state in the country? They had all their vote counting done by like midnight. On election day.
Fourth
biggest state. They had all their vote counting done at midnight. Orderly, timely, efficiently. They purged their dirty rolls, which especially in a state who has an old as population as Florida does, being God's waiting room east, Arizona being God's waiting room west. The ability for voter rolls to get incredibly dirty is very easy, and you know what? They proactively manage that. However, I hope Georgia learns the same lesson. It still has statewide Republican government. Its 2 chambers of Congress are held by Republicans. Its governor is a Republican. Get to work, fellas. If you ever want to win a statewide election again, you better make sure you catch up, because the little bit of cheating that's gone on, there's cheating in every direction. Would you really give me, just a brief sidebar here, some faith in the system again, is you investigate the claims of fraud. There's the Voter Integrity Project, Matt Brainerd and co. Have a pretty exhaustive list of might have committed election fraud, or had their identity stolen in someone's behalf. Investigate this shit. Charge everybody with the appropriate felony if they're found to be guilty of cheating, and send them all to fucking prison. Do it publicly. I want a public trial. I want a damn perp walk. Do that, I'll consider voting again. Until then, I live in a solid red state, have no plans on leaving for now. Trump won by like 20% here. I don't know that I'll ever vote again. This has shattered my confidence enough that without serious measures to make sure my vote matters, I don't know if I'm going to be bothered. I'll vote for local because that matters. National or state level politics? Why should I care? My vote doesn't count anyway.
How can you trust it though?
I don't.
I mean, if you don't trust it anyway, I mean, why trust it at all?
I don't know. I'm holding on to a tiny bit of faith in humanity. I trust my own local and state official. Josh, I trust my own. I live in Indiana. I trust my local and state officials that they do things right. I don't trust the state of Georgia. I don't trust the state of Nevada. I don't trust the state of California. Why? Especially now, if there's going to be an increased call that we're going to have the Democrats essentially try it. Well, they're going to have all three chambers. It's a narrow, thin margin in the Senate. You only need one defector. Kristen Sinema and Joe Manchin are incredibly vulnerable to manipulation as the arguably the closest to the center in the party. Joe Manchin being largely an institutionalist, won't likely allow court packing or some of the more extreme parts of the proposed liberal agenda to be enacted on his. At least he won't be the deciding vote on it. Well, one can hope and pray. Typically speaking, when you have a sweeping electoral victory as such, you're going to have 18 months of infighting, and then it's time to run again. You look at the Barack Obama in 2008. He had all three chambers. They effectively got nothing done but ramming home Obamacare in his first 2 years. And you know what? That cost him electorally halt, and they got pretty much nothing else done in a large social agenda after Obamacare because of how divisive and how much it was and how divisive it was to the electorate. So you're going to have the typical 12, especially now when there's no strong leader in the DNC, where Joe Biden isn't the charismatic figure of Barack Obama. He's not the powerful, commanding leader of a charismatic leader of a Bill Clinton. There's going to be so much political infighting and just backstabbing and just shit tossing once the Democrats finally take power here. I wouldn't be surprised if they don't get it done. They embarrass themselves, and guess what? The GOP will take both House and Senate in 2022. And you know what? A Democrat executive with a Republican.
They'll pick up seats for sure. Probably take the Senate.
Oh, they're going to take the House too. I mean, they brought it almost back to even this time. But if you can just hold out, stall, drag things out for 2 years, I mean, this whole "woe is me," Republicanism is dead, yada 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 bullshit that you saw the copium on Twitter today. Of oh my God, we're all Republicanism will never win another election. Well, relax, guys. Look how first 2 years when you have two chambers, both chambers and the executive. It's gonna be a bunch of fucking shit fight, mudslinging and shit fighting and internal civil war. Like that's what happens. That happened in the GOP in 2016. That happened in 2004, actually, with 2000 and 2004 with George W. Bush. Like. How it's gonna be.
I was just gonna say, Dorf,
and that's somewhat comforting.
When George W. Bush, sure, no, when George W. Bush was president, there was talk of that for a while. I mean, it was getting to the point where people are talking like the Republicans are getting so powerful that pretty soon the Democrats will be destroyed and the Republicans will have to split. It's like, yeah, okay, but and now it's getting to that. I mean, personally, I hate the duopoly. I would love to see one of these two parties go. I don't even care which one. And see people be forced to, break apart from their own party. That's how there's a common misunderstanding, I believe, in American history that there was one point where we weren't a two-party system, and truth is, we were pretty much always a two-party system.
That was.
But the parties used to. Yeah, but the parties used to get destroyed every once in a while. A party get destroyed, and a new party'd have to take over. Yeah. Oh, it's happened several times. It just hasn't happened since 1860. That's a problem. Between 1789 and 1860, it happens quite a bit.
Teddy Roosevelt tried, but he was unsuccessful in essentially trying to.
But failed.
The Republican Party, but you.
I mean, he failed. It's been the two-party system has been the Republicans and the Democrats since 1860. That's what it's been, So there's but before that we got quite a few, Federalists versus anti-Federalists, Federalists versus Democrat Republicans versus Democrats versus Whigs, Democrats versus Republicans, and then 160 years of crap. Basically.
Yeah, pretty much. So I'm not as worried as some folks are. Concerned. Hell, you and I talked in pre-show at another gun to the arsenal today. So we're gotta go find ammo for it. But anywho, I'm concerned. I was in the middle of the day today. I'm sitting on my computer, thumbing through the internet, and like, oh my god, this is the beginning of a hot civil war. Like, holy fuck! Like, Bosnia in the 1980s and 90s is coming to the United States. I know in our private chats behind the scenes, Josh,
Bill Clinton's not president somewhere else.
I'm just.
God, if it's Bosnia, I just hope Bill Clinton's not president somewhere else.
See, Josh, that was right when I was born. So why do you say that?
Well, just because Clinton went in there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Clinton went into Bosnia.
Fair enough. Okay. But
I'm not even trying. That's more of a joke than anything else. I mean, yeah, and I'm not into that sort of stuff now. To be honest with you, at the time, I wasn't strongly opposed to Clinton going into Bosnia. You
were also like what, 15?
But I wasn't opposed to. Yeah.
Okay, so
I was an old 15, dude. I was into this stuff. I've been obsessed with this stuff for far too long.
Yeah. So that's my worry. I was
like, unfortunate.
Man, like, we've been doing so well, I don't want to have to, experience this, street violence where, random people in the street catch a fucking rifle round out of a window of a building because reasons. Like, I don't want to live in that place. Anyway, so
I live in Detroit, so it's all good. Yeah, I already live in Detroit, so it'd be what it be,
Mm-hmm. But I don't want that widespread across America, and it seemed like lots of people were hand wringing that this isn't us, and there was another faction of cheering it on, and then another faction of, oh my god, just imagine if they weren't all white people. Like, bruh, did you watch it all the entire summer of 2020? It's the first day of you would say right, what I saw, the term I like is right Tifa, or red Tifa, excuse me. Today, their first organized, if you can call it that, action. Somebody caught a 5.56 round to the throat immediately. You didn't see that in left-wing violence where, oh, by the way, Washington, D.C. was freaking torched by left Tifa, or Antifa, or whatever you want to call them, less than 6 months ago. monuments, the different federal buildings were attempted to be lit on fire less than 6 months ago. Nobody got shot over that. They used tear gas just like they did then too. Like, by the way, the gal who did catch said round in the has died. I saw her name earlier. I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah.
She did not make it.
Nor do I.
14-year United States Air Force veteran. Married. I'm not sure if she had any children or not, but it's unfortunate that somebody's poor trigger discipline was going to found to be discipline. She took one in the throat, and it's unfortunate, man.
And they'll probably be okay because of qualified immunity. So do you think the progressives will stand up and talk about the evils
progressives
of
are
that?
all of a sudden, because we're about to be back in power, unfuck the police.
Basically.
Where do we go from here, man?
That's where it is. That absolutely is what it is. I mean, listen, it's brace yourself. The Democrats are going to care about law and order again.
Just imagine the institution. Let's just call it the establishment. Their new push for, the Patriot Act they're not even going to lie about its guys being turned inward anymore. The Patriot Act. It's just to make sure that we're safe from foreign terrorism. You bet your butt that every right-wing political movement for the next 15 years, 20 years, 1 out of 3 attendants is going to be an undercover Fed boy.
Mm-hmm.
Just, and here's the thing. I said this earlier to our buddy Adam. It's just like, part of me is scared for what might this escalate to, because ultimately the Senate doing the business that they were doing earlier when they had to evacuate. Like, as we speak right now, they're certifying Joe Biden's victory. So ultimately, business will go on as usual, I believe. What you're gonna, I unfortunately predict, I don't want this to happen. You're gonna see a normalization in a return of 70s style political violence. Bombings and assassinations were a regular thing of political figures, whether it was local, regional, or national politics. You're going to see that come back, and that was arguably the when the FBI exploded was to counter that, and then there was a large period of peace after they got it under control in the late 80s until now. Internally, largely, our politics has been nonviolent. You're going to see that return, and that's concerning. You're going to see people get blown up or shot on their way to work over Twitter beefs, political Twitter beefs. You're going to see normie politicians. It isn't Josh Hawley and when he was in business, his DC home. You're not just going to see people, with megaphones, kicking, knocking on his door in the middle of the night, scaring his wife and kid. You're going to see his house get firebombed. And that's unfortunate. Not Josh Hawley specifically, but you know what I mean. It's going to be both sides of the aisle. The other part of me is kind of a little bit, I don't want to call it happy, but that the elected officials who we open both sides of knowledge are incredibly corrupt on all sides, have a little bit of fear, the fear of God put in them again. Oh my God, paying attention to the little people, I might get drawn and quartered. Like, saying that was something I want to happen or that I expect to happen, but if anything positive comes out of today is there may be that reminder that, folks, remember who you work for, and those folks ain't happy, so you better start working to serve their needs, or you might be violent. I'm not saying I want that to happen, but that's if there's one positive thing, maybe that'll be in the back of some certain folks' minds, and before they make decisions on where they want to take the country going forward. Your thoughts, sir?
Dorf, watching all this stuff today, I like a lot of Americans, a lot of people worldwide. I was at work all day when this stuff broke down, so I don't have some news-fed, intense, rock solid bit of knowledge on this that a lot of other people, think they may have. But what I do know is that it's come to the point, and perhaps it should have come to this point a long time ago. I hear these reports. I hear about what's supposedly happening. And I admit, I see it and I think, is this even real? Is this just bullshit? Because I don't trust the sources. I don't trust social media. I don't trust mainstream media. I don't trust CNN. I don't trust Fox News. I don't trust Sean Hannity. I don't trust Rachel Maddow. I don't trust it. And quite frankly, I don't know what the hell is going on in Washington, D.C. right now. I don't have a clue. They're saying people are raiding the Capitol building. Are they Trump supporters? Are they Antifa? Are they a handful of radicals? The one I heard on the way home from work was somebody said, oh, and FBI has now said there's an explosive device potentially.
There was,
and
Josh.
When I heard that
found,
to me is like that.
Josh, the RNC was no, there was an actual bomb that the FBI bomb squad had to defuse or to safely detonate today at the RNC. That happened.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you, and I don't believe them. I don't.
Okay.
As soon as I hear the FBI say there was a bomb, it triggers the SpongeBob meme. It's just, I'm gonna head out. Who brought a bomb? I don't know. Who the hell supposedly brought a bomb? I don't buy it. As soon as I hear that, I just think, okay, I become the skeptical cop in Die Hard / or maybe the terrorist in Die Hard who says, oh, cool, the FBI is here and they're running the typical FBI playbook. I don't buy it. As soon as I hear that, I think there's a really good chance I'm being lied to. As soon as I hear potential bomb, I just think,
no, it's not a potential
I don't believe
bomb.
you.
It's an actual
I don't believe you anymore,
device, Josh.
Well, I mean, neither one of us saw it. I mean, a potential explosive device. So some redneck tried to light a fart with a Bic lighter. I don't know, what the FBI classifies as a bomb, but when I hear that, I don't believe it. I don't. So I have no idea what the hell is going on over there. I don't know if it's a handful of lunatics just trying to get their lulls. Or if this is an organized thing, because if it was truly organized, they wouldn't tell us. If it was something else, if it was something other than a couple of Antifa douchebags who got sick of their parents' basement, or a couple of something other than a couple of redneck Trump supporters, I know they would lie about it. I know they would. If there was literally somebody trying to, there's quite honestly, there's this nation has given us quite a few reasons to revolt. They've given us a lot of reasons to start a revolution, to be pissed off, to be upset, to be angry, to want to take our country back. But Voter fraud. That's what did it. That's what did it. It wasn't the economic lockdown. It wasn't bullshit pandemic. Nonsense forcing you to stay in your homes. It wasn't you're not allowed to walk into the gas station without a mask on. No, it was voter fraud. That's what did it. That's what pushed them over the edge. I don't know. Maybe people are foolish. All I know is every source that this is coming from, I don't trust. I just simply don't trust them. So I beg people, don't listen to me. I'm probably wrong. FBI says there's a bomb. Maybe there's a bomb. CNN says there's a bomb. Maybe there's a bomb. I don't know. But I don't believe it. So I'm not asking you to believe me. I'm asking you to not believe them. I'm asking you to not believe me and also not believe them. I'm asking you to try to find your own answers. But a lot of people say that, though. A lot of people say that. I'm not trying to just be another, I'm not Alex Jones or, David Icke up here telling you, don't believe me. Believe just that's the globalists trying to get. No, that's not me. That is not me. So, but I don't buy it. I don't buy it. Is this just a couple of Trump loving, Merca supporting, flag waving rednecks there to yeet some politicians? I don't really buy that. I don't buy that either. So I don't know. I don't know. I don't know, guys. There's a whole lot of narratives being thrown out, and I don't buy any of them. Not one.
Yeah, and here's another.
I don't buy Sean Hannity's.
Josh, by the way, so Adam, I think our buddy is listening live, and he's been sending me some messages here. Apparently, he's trolling through Twitter right now, and some folks, after seeing how easy it was to take the Capitol, per se, want to revisit the Area 51 raid. They want to see dim aliens. Yes. So I don't like.
Oh man, I knew this was good.
We can laugh about something here. Yeah, they want to see dim aliens. So 51 raid part 2, right? But
you know what, Dorf? If they wouldn't have sissied out, if they would have had the stones to go through with the Area 51 raid, like I had said at the time. If they had the cojones to go in there, then we could have alien tech right now. I did want to go. The Empire Media that Dorf and I worked for, and Adam that he spoke of, they didn't want to send me. They didn't want to flip my bill to go. I was just going to cover it. I was going to cover the. You
realize that would have meant like Adam and I would have paid for you to go, right? That would source of revenue.
That's exactly what I'm asking for. Yes. That's exactly what I was asking for. It's just you guys pay for it. I'll get exclusive footage, and it'll be great. It'll be great. All in the name of journalism. But no, we was gonna do it. If we would have been successful, we'd have alien tech right now, and all these dopes raiding the count. I mean, they could be shooting them with laser guns instead, because they'd have all this cool stuff that they could have, ransacked from Area 51. Now they could be in there with like clone trooper armor, taking them out. Nope. So they all got soft at Area 51. They all started partying that morning in Nevada and then didn't go through with it. Sad.
Wow, you've had several minor administration resign here in the last couple of minutes. It's like the first lady's staff.
What do we got going on?
The press secretary of all. I'm out. The kitchen is heating up. They don't want any part of they're getting out. So, oh yeah. So by the way, I don't know if we mentioned this. Trump has been banned on Twitter for 12 hours and apparently Instagram for 24. Another scary thing that happened. Media reports is the DC National Guard, which is controlled by the DOD, was requested to be active. I mean, they were activated and just kind of hanging out prior to today. Well, they asked for them to be dispatched to the Capitol building kind of before and during the big kickoff and the largest amount of kerfuffle. Normally something Orange Man would have to sign off on. The didn't get Trump sign off on it. He ignored him. They went through Pelosi and Pence, who both signed off on it. So we've had an unconstitutional break in chain of command because it was convenient. Fucking precedent. So you now have people not taking or ignoring orders from the commander in chief within the military, and that's I'm not going to say the word coup. Like, oh my God, the military is trying to overthrow Orange Man, or they were actively trying to participate in an invoking of the 25th Amendment to remove Trump from power for his final 2 weeks, but that's not good, man. It's not good.
Do you know what's kind of curious about that too, Dorf? Is that when you talk about that being unprecedented,
I don't think I use the
it
word
is unprecedented.
I don't think I use the word unprecedented. I just
okay. Well, I
think it
will.
was scary.
I will.
Concerning.
No, I will. Okay. Well, if you didn't, I will. I'm using the word unprecedented. Is that in the past? This has never happened in the past. But in the past, you could make the argument that maybe you couldn't reach said president in time. So, hey, Speaker of the House and Vice President, they're from different parties and they're both for it. So go. But in this day and age, when everyone in the world has a smartphone and your president is on Twitter, the idea that you can't get a hold of them is beyond ludicrous, actually. So the idea that you couldn't, find out how the president felt about this is just plain wrong. I mean, if James Madison couldn't be reached, so they got a hold of Monroe and Henry Clay back during the time when, the British were burning the White House, It would make sense. Yeah, it would make sense, right? I mean, like, all right, we couldn't get the president. We don't know where the hell he is. Speaker of the House is tight. We got the Secretary of State. All right, go. Makes sense, right? But
possibly
nowadays, I mean, the president, if you're an important person, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, everybody's reachable.
Or is this just the...
I mean, if you're not reachable within seconds, you're reachable within an hour, for sure.
Yeah.
That's just how it is. Scary stuff.
I know, man. So where do we go from here? Is this... What are your political predictions for 2021? Based on the first 5 to 6 days of the year that are almost complete here in Eastern Time, what do you got? What's going to happen the rest of the year?
I think Joe Biden's going to become president.
Yeah, no doubt about
January
that.
20th.
The 20th or 21st this year?
Don't know.
Somewhere in there.
I guess I could be. I thought it was I thought it was the 20th. I don't. I think this is gonna die down and go away. Honestly, I think they're gonna certify it. I think Joe Biden's gonna become president.
They're gonna certify it tonight.
And
I'd actually have done it while we're on the air here.
Yeah.
Does
I
Joe
think
Biden
they're gonna move on. I think they're gonna do it. And
does Joe Biden get yeeted by Kamala before the end of the year?
For the end of the year, I don't know about that. Do I think Joe Biden will serve his entire 4-year term? I'd say it's damn near 50-50. If I'm a betting man, say, gun to your head, you got to bet, does Joe Biden survive his 4-year term? I say no. whether that be by
die or does he resign?
by
or is he removed?
death. Anyone that when I say does he finish his 4-year term?
Handicap it
you
for
get
me. Die, removed.
All right, I'm gonna say
make it.
I would say the most common one: resign 1, die 2, removed 3.
Make it 4.
And I'll actually say make it before removed.
Okay.
But since those were that was a subgroup of not making it.
Okay. So I'm gonna go in order.
Actually, if all three of those are their own thing, I'm actually gonna go out on a limb and say make it is number 1. Make it is about a 40% chance. Make it's about a 40% chance, and the other 60% are divided between the other ones. So
number of times Joe Biden.
You're a stats guy. You're a numbers guy, Dorf.
Number of times Joe Biden.
That's still a
in public appearances in his first year in office, has a bathroom emergency because of the dementia meds he's on make him incontinent. Number of times. In 2021.
Luckily, he's a media darling. He's a media darling, and he has a D next. Yeah, he has a D next to his name, so the media will run interference for him. I mean, if Donald Trump was looking like he was gonna
New York Times in
have an uneventful fart, they would have.
You remember how many New York Times and Washington think pieces do you think they're going to be after the first one? Like, oh, shitting yourself is a fairly for old people to do.
There'll be one of those. Yeah,
it's not the
I think
normal guys. Like, come on, like you all know your grandma who couldn't stop shitting herself. Yeah, well, we don't ask grandma who's in the home to run the free world.
No, we don't. No, I don't. I mean, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that I have never voted for someone that has a problem pooping themselves. I'm not saying that Joe Biden does or doesn't, but I know my voting history. I know my voting record, and I'm gonna go. This is what like a senator would say. This is what a House rep would say. Like, I know, I can be confident. I can stand behind my voting record in knowing that I have never voted for a man that poops his own pants.
At the time when he was in office.
When I look, right, of course, yeah. Some of the people I voted for, I realize now are pretty corrupt. They may have pooped somebody else's pants. I don't know. But I am very certain that the people I voted for have never pooped their own pants.
While they were in office.
I will stand behind that statement. While they were in office. I will stand behind that statement.
You voted for George H.W. Bush, so are you? No, you're
not.
No,
I'm not.
I'm not. Say that he might be.
No. The first time I voted was Bush. Bush first score was the first presidential election I voted for, and I don't think either of them are pooping themselves.
Not at that point.
I don't think they're
Bush
pooping.
was in his
Maybe
50s.
They are though. They definitely weren't pooping
themselves.
They
were both in their 50s.
Yeah, they definitely weren't pooping themselves then.
Like that was the
No, they weren't pooping themselves.
Both major party candidates not be like have age concerns. Well,
what
Romney,
about how about Romney Obama?
Yeah, Romney Obama. Never mind.
Romney Obama.
Anyway,
yeah, I mean, other than that, yeah, McCain would have been the oldest president ever. Biden will be the oldest president ever. Donald Trump was the oldest president ever. McCain would have been the oldest president ever.
Yep. So Trump currently has that now.
H.W. Bush against Clinton wasn't a spring chicken.
Yeah. All right. So my predictions for 2021. Joe Biden makes it through the year. I would put it at they largest percent chance of happening is Joe Biden will he will admit that he's not up to the task after 2 years and 1 day, so they can have potential 10 years of Kamala. But that won't happen in 2021.
I was going to say that.
Yeah, it'll happen 2 years and 1 day, and it'll be just like baseball analogy here. The Super 2 cutoff day. So we're gonna keep you down in the mud. You're a big league ball player right now. You know we can help us, but we're fucking cheap. We're gonna get a year of club control over you because we're gonna keep you down into like 3 days into May. Even though you could help all through April, we're gonna keep you down until the beginning of May, so we can own your rights for another year.
To optimize. And to optimize.
We're not gonna be quiet or inconspicuous about it at all. That's what we're gonna do. It's gonna be 2 years and a fucking day, and he'll.
We'll start talking about it.
It'll happen 2 years and a day. The Republicans are having their political infighting party meltdown right now. The rest of 2020 January will be the Democrats, the establishment fighting off the commies, and it will be a bloody air quotes, bloodless, but you know what I mean, political civil war. The establishment will crush the commies and put them back into their place, which is somewhat comforting because I'd rather deal with them than fucking communists, but you may see some radical shit floor votes. Let's put it that way. None of it will come to pass. Including they're not going to be able to add we're going to make Washington, D.C. a state. Well, Article 1, Section 8 says otherwise. You're going to need a constitutional amendment. Puerto Rico is going to be a state. They don't even really want it to be a state, so good luck with that.
Constitutionally, Puerto Rico can be a state tomorrow.
Yeah,
I'm not saying Congress that it will happen or it won't
Congress
happen,
just has to recognize them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, and they have to want it. They have to apply for statehood.
Yeah, and quite frankly,
there's the system.
We're gonna make Guam a state too. It's like, well, you realize that all of your residents are essentially United States Marines who are there for like 12 months at a time, right? Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
And because the permanent population doesn't want anything to do with you, it'd rather be its own country. Just ask them. But honestly, the folks in Guam who think that they could just cut bait and become their own country would pretty soon they would starve. So, because if there's no U.S. military base, there's no industry there, and you can't eat sand. So the
good friend of mine was stationed in Guam for years. He said it was great.
It was like it's a pretty cushy.
Sounds like a cool place.
It's a pretty cool post if you're, generally speaking, if you're deployed overseas as a serviceman in the United States military, you could be in worse places. Your only concern is if we get in a hot war with Russia or North Korea, you're probably on a first strike list. But no biggie otherwise.
Meh.
But Kamala Harris will. God, did you see the whole plagiarizing MLK for a part of her biography bit that broke this week?
No, I must have missed it.
Yes, so a passage from her I forget what exactly, if it appeared in a book or something else, about her as a 2-year-old, parents asking her what she wanted, and she just said freedom is almost lifted word for word from a speech from MLK. Come on.
Cut, print, dumb.
Yeah. So, And it's just like,
uh,
like, she's not even a boomer, man. It's just like politicians realize you were always recorded. People can just Google a phrase and everything has been categorized and cataloged already. They're going to find out you're plagiarizing or lying instantly, or you're two-faced instantly. So why the fuck are you doing it? Because you can get away with it.
I guess I don't know.
So
other than potentially, I'm gonna throw something out that this might get me in trouble. I don't know. Other than potentially having an affair with her, MLK would want nothing to do with AOC. I'm very certain of that.
There's
politically, he would want nothing to do with her.
That MLK was a serial philanderer, and I will give him that. MLK.
I think they're more than rumors.
Well, it's one of those. It's a classic scenario of never meet your heroes because they're always going to let you down. Abe Lincoln was a fucking tyrant.
Nah, you're gonna break into this Abe Lincoln thing again.
Yeah, Abe Lincoln was a tyrant who stepped all over the Constitution and suspended it at will because he said. Mahatma Gandhi was a fucking
Abe Lincoln
creep.
was more
was a fucking creep and arguably a pedo. Martin Luther King was a serial philanderer. No, Gandhi was I encourage you to look into that. He often
I'm with you. I'm with you on Gandhi.
Okay.
I'm with you on Gandhi. I am thinking you're not going far enough on MLK, who I love, by the way. But hey, what dude like chicks? I'm with him. What can I say? He got a lot of tail.
You loved getting married so much you did it twice.
My problem is with you. What's that?
You loved getting married so much you did it twice, right?
I did. Yeah, I did. I slam dunked that thing 2 times. The Abe Lincoln thing, the way you put it, I'm not saying there isn't some things to say about Abe Lincoln, but Abe Lincoln didn't go against the Constitution half as much as the last 10 presidents of the United States.
Don't disagree with you, but he's not the saint.
Who get no credit for it.
He's not the saint he's made out to be. That was the only point I was trying to make. And quite frankly,
Amanda Lyndon Baines Johnson.
The Machiavellian in me says, "Bravo, well played." Terrible human being.
Imagine LBJ if there was a civil war happening.
Nuked the southern state. Well,
everything Abe Lincoln did, and this can be verified, he did with a heavy heart and stopped doing it as soon as he could. There is not one thing he did that is anti-Constitution that you can't point that to.
Fair enough.
I mean, guys like LBJ, guys like George H.W. Bush, guys like Bill Clinton, guys like don't even get me started on Obama and Trump. The amount of times these guys broke or went against the Constitution in glaring ways is preposterous.
Another prediction I'm going to make for
a guy like Abe Lincoln did it when the country's at war. An unprecedented moment, except for maybe I don't know. We'll let you know tomorrow.
Yeah. Another
if civil war can remain unprecedented.
Another prediction for 2021: there is going to be hyperinflation in industrial commodities. You're already starting to see it in luxury goods and real estate. Not to this year, or in 2020, we just printed because of a virus with a 99% plus survival rate that isn't killing in the United States. We're not going to finish with a outside the normal expected States this year.
Wah, wah, wah.
We hyperinflated our economy to the breaking point. Our debt to GDP ratio went from ratio of 1 during the Trump presidency to now it's like 1.4. Yikes. Modern monetary theory is going to be put to the test. That's for fucking sure. Josh, do you own any Bitcoin? Thoughts on?
Love Bitcoin. Love Bitcoin.
Do you have any currently?
Wait, no, I don't. No, I don't.
Well, during all the chaos today, Bitcoin went up another 2K. And the stock market and the and the Dow Jones up another 400 points.
Damn it.
Yep.
I've been telling everyone I know to buy Bitcoin for 5 years, and I didn't.
Have I ever told my story with Bitcoin? I bought $20
yes,
worth
you
when
did.
it was $4
very
a
sad.
coin, and I lost the information to retrieve it. Probably 2013. So, oops. I could have bought a house in cash if I still had that. Yep, there's in college that would mine it on his laptop when he wasn't using it, and would frequently pay several hundred Bitcoins for pizza.
Yeah.
There was a pizza place on campus that would take Bitcoins as payment. He once paid like...
Yeah, I used to work with the guy.
He paid 90 Bitcoins for pizza.
I worked with a dude who used to mine Bitcoin. Yeah, yeah. I mean, we'd be roofing houses together, and he'd be talking about, mining Bitcoin. As he drove this cat used to work for me roofing. He would show up. He had 2 different Ducati motorcycles.
Really? It's a roofer, and he shows up driving a motorcycle. Let alone a Ducati. I'm not, Ducatis are fine racing bikes, but like shows up to a roofing on a daily basis riding a motorcycle. Smart.
Yeah, wearing his tool bags.
Really?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, cool dude. I don't want to say his name just because maybe that would bother him, but I'd love to because he was. Yeah, no, he's a cool dude. He actually had 3 motorcycles, but two of them were Ducatis. I don't remember what the other one was. I think it was a Kawasaki Ninja. And yeah, he'd show up with his tool bags, his hammer waving in the wind and stuff, and on his Ducati, and then he'd mine Bitcoin and on the side, he actually kind of roofed on the side. Really, like his main job was mining Bitcoin and sports betting. He just.
Well, back then that was.
He's a cool dude.
Back then it was undercover sports betting or online sports betting. But oh man,
it wasn't illegal as far as I know from what he was doing. I think it was like online in the right places type thing.
Offshore.
But I don't really know. Something like that, yeah.
Roofing was just something to do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick
it was
back-breaking dangerous labor to do for fun because lols.
Yeah. No, it was fun. Yeah. He was pretty good. He was a pretty good roofer.
Anyway,
yeah, I don't know, Dorf. What else we got tonight?
I was gonna say, you got anything else? Call it.
I think we should probably call it. I think that's all we got. I'm sure everybody's looking to turn on the SMM and see what they're lying to us about and mainstream media.
You said SMM, not MSM. I was just making fun of you. That was all.
Oh, I did. Oh, I'm sorry. MSM. My bad.
No. I like the. I don't remember who coined the term, but I like the new term. It's all encompassing of like the media and the establishment. Calling it the. I forget who coined that. But I like that term, and I think we should use that going forward. Anyway,
I like it. I've never heard that before. I like it though.
We'll look at that, and I'll toss that around.
No, I like it a lot
in the behind the scenes. So, all right. Anything else, man?
No, yeah, for sure. We'll throw it out on the stoops. Throw it out on the stoops. See if the cat licks it up.
Fair enough. All right. Thanks for joining episode 23 of the Empire Exile podcast. Join us whenever we do it next. Usually about once a week, but we ended up going last week because of some technical issues. So for Josh up north, we'll see you all next time.